This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Rappaport to the rescue with award-winning animal advocate Jill Rappaport.
Hi, welcome to Rappaport to the Rescue. I'm Jill Rappaport, and I have a really fun, exciting guest today. She is really proving to be an amazing contender on the new Amazon show called The Pack. Now, basically what this is the amazing race with owners and their dogs. And my guest today, Lucy Riles, not only is the only mom on the show, she's the only one to have a senior rescue dog competing. Yay! The dog's name is Duchess, and she and Duchess have proven to be really fierce competitors. Aside from this exciting new gig, Lucy on her own has a very popular blog called Life with Mom. Her husband also has a hit blog called What Else? Life with Dad. And they both just came out with a book called Mom versus Dad. So stay tuned, don't you move. When we come back, Lucy Riles and Duchess coming up.
Oh, sure. It's all fun and games until someone ends up in a cone. That's right. We're animals. Deal with it. Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Rappaport to the Rescue. I'm Jill Rappaport, and here she is, Lucy Riles, star of The Pack. I call you the star because, in my opinion, you're the only mom and you're the only one that has a senior rescue dog. So you are a superstar, and there is beautiful Duchess. I'm so sorry that my listeners cannot see this gorgeous lab. Beautiful dog, and congratulations on really giving off such an important message, the message of rescue in this really exciting show. Right, Lucy?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on, Jill. What you are doing for dogs and rescue dogs, specifically senior rescue dogs, I'm just so inspired and grateful that you are on this mission and you have impacted so many lives, not just the dogs' lives, but all the families because of it. So thank you for all you do for the rescue dog arena.
You mentioned the senior dogs, and Duchess, when you're a big dog, technically 7 to 8 years old, you're considered a senior. So what's so unbelievable, just seeing you and being in the show, this was really tough, physically, emotionally. You had to really get ready for this. Tell us about the preparation for you and Duchess.
Yes, it was definitely intense. Duchess and I were the oldest female team. And when I say team, each team is made up of human and dogs. So there were 12 teams. Duchess and I were the oldest female team. I was the only mom, like you said. She was one of the only rescue dogs. There was one other rescue, a little Chihuahua mini pincher mix. So there were 2 rescue dogs on the show. And Duchess was absolutely outstanding. She blew everyone away, including myself. You know, because I'm a mom, I'm kind of stretched thin like a rubber band with my attention going from kids to husband to career to work and to my dogs. So to be able to go on this experience with just her and really pour all my love and attention into just her, like she's done for me for so many years, it just was such a special bonding experience for us. And, you know, my goal was, okay, don't get eliminated the first week. And then my goals started changing as the show went on. And I think, you know, a lot of the other teams and contestants we've stayed in touch with, we're very close. It's not like your typical reality show. Everybody is still friends and stays in touch. I think that through line message of having your dog with you just brought on such a beautiful relationship with even the contestants. So even though we were competing against each other, we were so very close. And
you were like the team mom. You were really coaching everybody and giving them good advice and, you know, just being your motherly self.
I did tend to kind of put on my mama bear hat For the last decade, all I've done is nurture babies. I was a stay-at-home mom. So to throw me into this reality competition show with no cell phone, no access to the world, and no access to my babies, I'm like, I need to nurture something. So that all went into Duchess and the other contestants and teams. And it was just such a really fun, special bonding experience.
My pal, Lindsay Vaughn, who I've gotten to interview several times, she's wonderful, such a huge animal advocate, loves her dogs like we do. They're her children. She's the host. And I talk about rigorous. I understand you lost 25 pounds. Sign me up, Lucy. Yes. Sign me up. When can I get on the next one?
I came out of the show and I posted my first post-show picture, and people are like, where were you? And at the time, the show hadn't been announced. And I was like, sign up for a reality competition series in your 40s. So basically, like I said, I was a stay-at-home mom with 3 elementary age kids. Duchess was my backyard dog. We have this big old backyard. She loves to play fetch. And besides the neighborhood walks and the school pickups and drop-offs, we really didn't get out much as far as traveling and adventure. That was totally out of I couldn't even fathom it, right? So when we signed up, she had Duchess knew sit and fetch at 8 years old. Not because she couldn't do more, I just never taught her, right? So
you were busy with the human children.
I was trying to teach my kids to sit on the couch.
And fetch.
Right, exactly. Go fetch the remote. No, so we did this 2-week training before the show started with these incredible dog trainers and dog safety team. And Duchess and I came into this training, and there were surfing dogs and mountain climbing dogs and dogs that knew all these amazing tricks. And here was Duchess and I. And I'm like, oh God. I literally, when Tom and the kids dropped me off, I said, maybe circle the block because I don't know if they're going to keep me. But back to your question about the weight. So, it really was quite a bit of a identity transformation for me because all I knew was just caring and nurturing and taking care of my family. And so to then remove all of that, where you're kind of forced to work on yourself. And I didn't realize how much work I really needed on my self-esteem, and kind of fell into a bit of a rut, over the last couple of years. And this show helped me, those nights, no internet access or anything, I start writing in a journal. I start writing affirmations. I start listening to I Have Confidence, Sound of Music songs and things like that to kind of build me up. Like I can compete against these 20-something-year-olds who are in shape of their life. And I found that on our off days, we'd only be able to go take the dogs out for a potty break or maybe use this hotel gym. So I started working out after a couple challenges, and I realized how out of shape I was. I remember the first challenge, when we crossed the finish line, I fell to the ground. I was so out of breath, and we didn't run that far. And I'm like, oh crap. So I kind of started to eat smart, not really eat too many carbs to weigh me down on challenge days. And I can't say, but as the show went on, I have a dog that has incredible endurance. She's a great runner. And so I didn't want to let her down. So I had to keep up with her, and she was fast and motivated. And I was like, I'm going with Duchess. So I ended up
amazing.
I ended up losing 25 pounds, and it's been challenging to try to keep it off over these pandemic months, but I've been able to. I'm really motivated to keep that as a priority because I've seen how much it's helped me mentally.
Considering Duchess is 8 years old, which is a senior, as we discussed.
Right.
This was rigorous for her too. And there will be animal advocates out there wondering, because these animals really are pushed to their limits. These dogs are exercised to the moon and back.
Right.
Were you concerned about that? Did you consult a vet first? Was it a good idea for her? Did you have any apprehensions going in for her safety and well-being?
Absolutely. When I got the call to do the show and they said, hey, we want a mom, it's Amazing Race, but with your dogs traveling the world, my very first hesitation was, how will Duchess do? How are they going to treat Duchess? How is this going to look? And they were like, this is Amazon. We are not messing around. These dogs will fly first class right next to you in a chartered flight. They had a whole staff of dog safety team between vets and trainers looking out for dogs all the time. And if you see a part in the show where there's a lot of running, there's a very good chance we had to stop down, because a lot of times they were always factoring in the dog's well-being. Yeah. I keep saying to people, they treated the dogs better than the humans, but I'm actually okay.
That's my kind of show.
Yeah, I know. I know, exactly. I said, if you're treating my Duchess like royalty and I can just come along for the ride and benefit from that. Like my first time ever in first class was because I got to bring a dog with me. So she got first class. So by default, I got first class.
See, that Duchess gave you clout, Lucy.
Oh, so much clout. And I will tell you with the senior dogs, because there were quite a few of 8 and 9-year-old dogs on the show. There were like, I want to say like 4, maybe even 5 of the 12 were between 8 and 9 years old. Because I remember in training being like, oh, we all had the same age dogs. I will tell you, the senior dogs, because this show is so much about the connection and bond you have with your dog. So the challenges are really like, how do you guys perform as one? And I found that a lot of the senior dogs did phenomenal because they didn't have that puppy energy. They didn't want to run off and chase another squirrel or another dog. Like they were locked in on, like Duchess, she just looks up at me and it was like, all right, let's go. Like the intuition that these senior dogs specifically, and no shade to those younger dogs, because I love them with all my heart. But the older dogs did have that intuition, that sense of, and you probably know this, Jill, like they sense your emotion. They sense,
they've been there, done that. Often, if you rescue a senior, they've been discarded in the twilight of their lives through no fault of their own, dumped literally when they're older, which is just unimaginable horror. And here they are. All they want to do is love, and they forgive, and they just want a new family, and they thrive when you take them in their second chance at a new life. And they're amazing. And I tell people all the time, give seniors a chance. I think it's a wonderful message. And I talked in the open that you were a fierce competitor, because just getting in the game is being a fierce competitor. Right. But, Lucy, you have really been a fighter your whole life, especially these last years when you were having children. You went through so much heartbreak with miscarriages and a stillborn. And I was reading your blog. I mean, you have over 400,000 followers, as does your husband. People are just so drawn to you because of what you've been through, your honesty, and really putting your pain out there and sharing it with people so that they can share.
Yeah, no, I notice when I write about some of the most raw emotional topics, like losing a parent, having a medically fragile child, having a stillborn loss, it resonates so much with other moms, but families, because it allows them to kind of talk about their grief in a platform that's very safe and supportive and encouraging. And that's what I hoped when I created Life of Mom, my online community, because I remember being a new mom and my daughter had open heart surgery at 3 days old. And that first year of going to specialists and doctor's appointments was absolutely terrifying. And I questioned myself so much. I doubted myself so much. And I wish I could go back to that new mom who was so terrified and give her the biggest, most tightest hug and tell her she's doing a good job, because I didn't feel that at the time. And so if my story can resonate with moms now that are going through it, and I can help a mom feel that sense of love and support, it means so much to me. And a big mission on doing this show was that exact thing. I've been through such dark times, like you said, and to be able to come out on the other end of it and do something as wild and crazy as this reality competition show around the world, The Pack, and to be able to genuinely laugh again. Like there was a time in my life I never thought I'd feel joy and genuinely laugh again. I mean, right now, everyone's going through a hard time with this pandemic, but, there's a lot of people struggling. And if my truth, my story can give them hope that there's something on the other end of it, that they can get through it and be stronger and better because of it. I remember interviewing for the show and they asked me why did I think I could go against the alpha dog or alpha male? I remember like some type of question like that. And I said, because I'm a mom, and moms are the strongest people I know. You know, what we go through emotionally and mentally, I just think prepares you for so much in life, to kind of the mother warrior, I like to say. So I really channeled that when I was on the show and filming with Duchess. It's just knowing like nobody looked at us as like a threat. Like no one was like, oh, we got to watch out for Lucy and Duchess. No one. Like
they were probably thrilled to see you going, oh, this will be a piece of cake.
Oh, you haven't left your house in 10 years? Okay, check. I got her. And so I think because so many people underestimated me, and I underestimated me, but I knew I wanted to really represent moms and the strength. Labs, are you kidding me? They're like the most popular breed in America. I'm like, we can't let down the labs. And Duchess did not. What she learned. So my whole tagline, like if it was the Real Housewives and there was like a tagline, my tagline would be, we're here to prove you can teach an old dog new tricks, because this dog was a senior dog, knew sit and fetch. And she learned so much, and she blew me away. She blew everybody away. She's just such a fighter. And I think moms are fighters too. And so, you know, it really was this kind of incredible experience. And I really hope that people, families, dog lovers, senior dog owners, lab owners, moms can kind of relate to us and realize, you know, like you don't have to be the surfing dog to really have a shot at things, you know, just trying your best and never giving up and believing in the bond you have with these fur babies of yours. It's just truly remarkable. And I kind of learned as I watched ourselves over the course of the show, just kind of grow and transform. And then I came home and my husband's like, I brought home a suitcase full of stuffed animals for my kids for souvenirs. And I told my husband, I said, your souvenir is the 25 pounds I left in Europe. Because he came home, he's like, I'd been in the best shape of my life. And we bought an Airstream and we were like, let's go adventure. And then the world shut down. So we're still waiting to go on our adventures, but they will be great, no less, because of this experience.
Well, you are such an inspiration, Lucy. What you have gone through, what you have overcome and come out on the other side, truly amazing. I mean, your blog is just incredible. It inspires people so much. And I really feel like that a new book or a new blog, I mean, you got Life with Mom, your husband has Life with Dad. I feel Life with Duchess coming out. What do you think?
There you go. That would be amazing. Life with Duchess. Right now, her social handle is Royally Cute Dogs, because it's the Duke and Duchess, right? My cute dogs, royally cute dogs. But no, I love that. I definitely do like the hashtags and like switch it up to all those, because I love that. But
you can do a book too, and feel free to dedicate it to me.
I will. And if I'll figure out what charities you're passionate about. And well, honestly, anytime there's any opportunities where I can contribute and raise awareness, let me know, Jill. Like, honestly, I'm thrilled to do it. And I love your mission. And if I can be even a slice of it, I'm happy to help in any way. So please let me know.
You set a wonderful example for women that are not teenagers anymore, for dogs that aren't puppies anymore, for rescue dogs, for overcoming obstacles in life. You really have set such a beautiful goal for people, and your message is so inspirational. So thank you, Lucy Riles. I'm so proud of you. And Duchess, mwah! A big kiss. I'm going to have to send one of my toy dog bone shelter shake and my leash that honors rescues.
And I have to tell you one last thing before I go. So I was raised a huge dog lover. My husband was not. So when we got engaged and moved in together, I wanted to get a dog. And we ended up rescuing an 8-year-old Wheaten Terrier from a shelter. He came to the shelter because his owner was a senior and passed away. And so it was a single male. And here my husband, who was not a fan of dogs, he wasn't raised with them, right? And this dog took to Tom because he had a single male owner. So he really was drawn to Tom. And he lived out the rest of his years with us until he was about 11 years old. Bojangles was his name. And when I tell you, he was the best dog we could have picked for somebody who was kind of on the fence about dogs. And he got to meet this beautiful older soul that was just so connected. And they shared this really beautiful bond that kind of opened the doors and the floodgates for me to be like, can I get a puppy lab when we have a baby and a toddler, right? Can I get a puppy St. Bernard? So I will say the senior dogs, that relationship was the start of our marriage and our life together. And we look back at Bojangles, that senior dog, with such fond memories. He really opened the heart of non-dog lover and really transformed him into one.
Well, the message of these senior dogs and the fact, such a great competitor, it's a great message for your children.
Yes.
Duchess has set a wonderful example for your kids, hasn't she?
She has. She honestly, besides Fetch, that's all they knew of her. And honestly, all they know of mom is laundry and yelling at them to clean their room, right? So to be able to go on the show, like every time we did a new experience and explored a new city, and it was like a pinch me moment, I'm like, wait till my kids see Duchess doing this and this and this and this and this. And it was just such a wild ride. And we are like bonded we were bonded before, Duchess and I, but she is like by my side in a 2-foot radius at all times.
And I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
I can see her wrapped around your back. And yeah. Lucy, this has been such a pleasure. And thank you for all you do and for giving those who are going through difficult times such hope and inspiration that life can turn around. You've proven it firsthand. Thank you. Lucy.
It's been a total honor. And thank you. Thank you for all you do for senior dogs and rescues. It really is truly inspiring. It makes me want to do more and more and more to help these wonderful animals. So thank you for all you do. And thank you for having me on. I feel completely honored.
It's a joy to meet you. Thank you, honey. Stay safe.
Thank you. You too.
And Lucy, speaking about wonderful seniors, coming up, Bill Berloni. And I'm not referring to him. I'm actually referring to what we're going to be talking about, the joys of adopting an older pet. Oh, they're endless. Coming up. Stay tuned.
Spanning the planet. You've landed at the pet entertainment center of the universe. Alert the paparazzi. This is Pet Life Radio, the ultimate animal adventure.
Hi, welcome back to Rappaport to the Rescue. As you know, I have wonderful seniors, and I've talked about this ad nauseum over the years. The joys of going older cannot even be put into words. And with us now is the wonderful Bill Berloni, who has really trained and taken so many seniors from literally the road where they were dumped to the stage and to the screen. And he has proven time and time again how viable and how wonderful these older dogs are. So let's talk about that. The joys of going older.
Well, we've talked about this many times. And, not only is there a sense that you're really rescuing, there's something about giving a senior dog a home that's so much more fulfilling than just a young puppy, for me at least. They've paid their dues, and it just makes me feel good that I'm the one they're going to spend their last days with. I really love that. But more important, it's just they're ready to go. They've lived their life. There's no transition period. They know what being housebroken's about and being cuddled about. And so they're like the ready-made dog, those seniors. I love them.
And I'm so glad to remind people, if you're going to adopt, really do try to go older. And I can tell you that because they've been saved, usually under such dire circumstances, and usually, as you know, they're always the last to go, they thank you every day, don't they?
They sure do. They sure do. And I'm thinking in these continued pandemic times, as I've been talking to people who've gone out and adopted the puppies and adopted the young dogs, they're a lot of work. So actually, if you're
but a lot of work.
Yeah, if you're going to be in quarantine and just want the company of a dog, adopt a senior. I can't think of a better type of dog to have in this quarantine situation, than a dog who's just going to be with you when you need him there.
And we should tell people, when you look up the definition of a, quote, senior dog, they say that a big dog is considered a senior around 7, 8 years old, and a little dog is considered a senior 10 to 11 years old. That might scare people off a little bit. And what I really want to talk about and encourage people to do is that even the dogs that are 2 and 3 years old are languishing in shelters. Just go a little older.
Right. People think you miss out on something in the puppy stage when actually you gain more of a relationship when you adopt an older dog than you do from a puppy. Because as you say, those dogs are so much more appreciative than a puppy who's had a good life. They don't know they've been adopted, but a senior dog, oh yeah.
Well, Bill, great advice and message as always. Thank you so much. And I wish you a wonderful holiday season. You're with me every week, but these are very trying times because of COVID. Thank goodness for our families and people we can stay close to. But for me, these dogs, especially these senior dogs, oh my goodness, the joy and the comfort they give me. I can't even put it into words.
Yep. So because they are family, right, Jill?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Rappaport to the Rescue. And Bill, how do I always end the show? Please
stay positive.
Let's Talk Pets every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.